Yo, 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 what is up, everyone? Season 3, Episode 1 of the Super-Blitz podcast. We were going to come back from last week, but we had some technical difficulties, so we'll come back here stronger and better than ever. You know what you're expecting with Super-Blitz, a full dive into all sports. We got basketball, soccer, and football, and we got a great episode for you guys today.
Yup, we'll be discussing things like the NBA playoffs, what's been going on with the Euros, and what's been going on with the NBA coaching hires. So today it was announced that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes would be joint together on the cover of Madden 22. Jay, who do you think should have been on the cover?
Yo, I like that Mahomes and Brady were on the cover, but I feel like we should do something new. Like, I don't know, probably bring back like Montana, maybe Derrick Henry, because he had a good season. Sure. But definitely not Brady and Mahomes again. And Madden's gonna be a failure again. I've bought Madden every single year since like Madden 13, and I don't see any improvements, and I'm not gonna buy Madden 22. That's 100%. I bought every single Madden, but Madden 22, no.
So me personally, I think Derrick Henry should have been on the cover. So Derrick Henry led the NFL in rushing and probably had the most rushing yards in a season since Adrian Peterson's MVP year. He definitely deserved to win MVP that year, and MVP this year, although he didn't get it because it is a quarterback's award.
Derrick Henry does not know.
Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry definitely should have been on the Madden cover.
MVP now. No.
I mean,
who won MVP this year?
I mean, what did
Aaron
Patrick?
Rodgers?
Yeah, but what did Patrick Mahomes do to deserve the Madden cover?
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers definitely should have been on the Madden cover. Either him or Derrick Henry. I mean, they should have kept up with tradition and put the MVP on the cover like they did the previous 3 years.
Maybe even Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald would have been nice too. Yeah,
maybe Justin Jefferson, but I don't think he's good.
Yeah. I just think that, me personally, I don't think that Mahomes was qualified enough this year to actually make the Madden cover. I mean, it's good for brand selling, but just based on who deserved to be on it, I think either Derrick Henry or Aaron Rodgers was probably the best options, I guess, over Brady and Mahomes.
Yeah, but enough with that. Let's go to basketball. Ooh, Clippers and Jazz. I'm just going to say I called the Clippers winning, okay? I called the Clippers winning Game 5, and now I think they're going to win Game 6 at home. Everyone told me, oh, the Jazz are going to win. Oh, the Jazz are going to win. Oh, we want the Jazz are going to win. And then the Jazz started out like raining three-pointers. Oh, my God. Bojan Bogdanovic, he could not miss. He was like Klay Thompson. And then in the second half, they were like useless. They could not hit a single three-pointer. Donovan Mitchell had 20 points. And in the first half, I feel like he did a really good job letting his teammates shine. But in the second half, I mean, I knew Paul George was going to have a big game, but the important thing was he needed to be an efficient scorer. But let's just talk about Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris. What a performance by both of them offensively, and a much-needed boost with Kawhi gone.
Yep, so for me personally, I think that the Clippers don't have what it takes to make it out of the series after Kawhi is probably gone for the rest of the season and likely out the first couple weeks of the next season because he had a major ACL injury. So
not there.
Paul George can't physically keep up with carrying the Clippers. I mean, he put up like 40 last game, but he has to continue to put up 40, and even if they do make it past the Jazz, they're up 3-2, so they just have to win one game. But I don't think they make it past Phoenix just because of the fact that Kawhi is out, and Coach Monty Williams will prioritize limitizing Paul George, which will make Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, maybe Luke Kennard step up for the Clippers, and they just shown time and time again that they have failed to do so in the Mavericks series, especially. Reggie Jackson's probably one of the only guard for the Clippers, except Paul George, who's actually been showing up in the playoffs. I mean,
Oh wait, he's not a guard yet.
Yeah, Patrick Beverley has been incredibly inconsistent in the playoffs, and Rondo has barely gotten any PT. So Reggie Jackson's really the only guard right now that's actually helping the Clippers in their rotation. Probably if Reggie Jackson wouldn't have made the those clutch shots down the stretch in the game, the Clippers would not have won that game. What Quinn Snyder should focus on right now is Royce O'Neal played terribly on Paul George. I mean, Royce O'Neal's a good defender, but they should try doubling Paul George, like especially
he got in foul trouble early.
I know. Yeah. So what? In my personal opinion, for tonight's game against Utah, Quinn Snyder should force, like what they did in the fourth quarter. They should force Paul George to pass in the post and rely on the Clippers hitting 3-pointers. I know that they are the top shooting 3-point shooting team in the season this year, but I would rely on I wouldn't allow the Clippers to drive. They also took a small volume of 3-point attempts last night. I'm pretty sure they only took 6 attempts last night, so I would not.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, they shot 40%, but maybe 16. But I would rely on the Clippers 3-point shooting to fail because.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they took more than 6 in the first half. I mean, the first quarter. Did you?
They might not. I think it was 16 maybe, but
they took 43 pointers.
Like similar to what the Clippers did against the Jazz. Like they forced the Jazz to take threes. I mean, they started hitting it early in the game, but they started to cool down the stretch. It's a bad sign when you made 16 3-pointers in the first half, and you're only up 5. So. I just think that
while the Jazz made a bunch of 3-pointers in the first half too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah, well, I mean, sorry, the Clippers, like they both made a ton of 3-pointers.
But now
I think the Clippers are gonna go to the NBA Finals and win.
They beat Phoenix. I mean, Chris Paul's injured, but he's still
they're gonna they're gonna beat Phoenix.
I think the Clippers series goes to 7 against Utah. So. Even if they do it, Chris Paul likely misses game 1, but he's definitely back for game 2. They beat the Suns without Kawhi Leonard. I mean, the Suns have beat the Lakers. They beat the Nuggets. They swept the Nuggets. So I think they can easily beat the Clippers without Kawhi.
No, the Clippers are beating them. I promise you, dude. The Clippers are the best team in the West and the best team in the league with Kawhi healthy. But
Kawhi's not healthy. Kawhi's out for the rest of the season.
I thought the winner, the Clippers and Mavericks, were gonna go to the finals.
I mean, Kawhi has an ACL injury, so he's probably out for the rest of the season.
Well, no, I think it's just a strained ACL. It's not a core ACL. Strained ACL is gonna take like 2 weeks. I mean, per Skip Bayless, he referred to his sources and they told him Kawhi's probably out for the rest of the season. So they'll likely make the finals if they play Phoenix and Kawhi Leonard is healthy, but don't bank on that. He's probably out for the rest of the year, based on some sources. I really don't think so, but even if he is, they're still going to win, and they're going to beat the Nets too. They can beat the Nets easily. They're a lockdown team. Like their team's really good. Okay. With Kawhi healthy, they're easily beating the Nets. With Kawhi healthy.
I mean, okay. Speaking of the Nets, let's talk Nets Bucks. So, just
Bucks winning.
Just a disclaimer. This podcast filmed prior to the game that happened last night. So we do not know the results. So we will be talking about KD's legendary performance, putting up 50-point triple-double. So yeah. I think that if the Bucks do end up winning tonight, or for our listeners last night, they will end up winning the series in Game 6. I think there's no chance that the Nets win tonight just because of the fact that Kevin Durant put up
No,
50. He played 48 minutes.
no. If Giannis doesn't guard KD, they're winning.
The fatigue,
Giannis just sitting in the corner.
the fatigue will eventually catch up to KD. I mean, it was just 2 nights ago that he played 48 minutes and took all those shots. I mean, the fatigue has to catch up to Kevin Durant. So, James Harden didn't look fully healthy in the game against Milwaukee. So, if James Harden's not healthy and Joe Harris continues his shooting slump, I think it's hard to see Brooklyn beating Milwaukee. I would play Kevin Durant if I were Steve Nash. I'd play Kevin Durant limited minutes. I wouldn't play him the full 48. I'd probably play like
That is the
35 minutes.
It's extremely hard to shut out in the NBA. And no, if the Bucks get a game 6, they have all the momentum going into game 7.
That is true.
No, they need to play. They need to play KD the whole way. Okay, it's win or lose. Like right now, they gotta close up the series because the Bucks are gonna have all the momentum going in to the next thing. They'll have a better game plan. But if it's a game 7, I still think the Brooklyn might win. But actually, I don't know. I'll have to see game 6 to decide who I think will win in game 7. But for game 6, if Giannis doesn't, if they don't find a way to stop KD, they're winning. I don't care if the rest of the people score 0 points. KD's just too tall, and Giannis is 7 feet tall, so I don't understand why they can't guard him. Like,
yep.
But I watched the worst game yesterday though. The Sixers versus the Hawks was the worst game ever. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't really go there.
It was just so bad.
Yeah.
It was just so bad.
Yeah. So Clipper so Doc has once again struggled to close out a playoff series. So last year with the Clippers, he was up 3-1 against the Nuggets, and he failed to close. All they had to do was win one game, but they ended up losing 3 of the games 4, 5, 6, and 7 to end up losing the series. So Doc has to do a better job closing out series. I mean, they were up 26.
No, I don't blame it on Doc Rivers. I blame it on Embiid.
I mean, Ben Simmons.
Casuals say Doc Rivers, but no, it was Embiid's fault.
Embiid put up 37.
Embiid could have passed Steph Curry twice with the last 1 minute, but instead he posted up and he took that awful mid-range and he bricked it. It was Embiid's fault. He was completely useless. He missed both of his clutch free throws. He was so bad. He didn't pass the ball. He missed both of his clutch free throws. He bricked a mid-range. He scored 0 points in the last 7 minutes. Okay, while Seth Curry was literally on fire, it was Embiid's fault, and Seth Curry carried them in the second half. But props to Atlanta. Atlanta did really good defending and attacking. I mean, people put too much blame on the whole Sixers, but honestly, the blame should go to Embiid, and the blame should go. I mean, the credit should go to the Hawks. The Hawks are really good, especially shooting the 3 ball. They were down 18, but it felt like they didn't just make like a big 18-0 run. They periodically got back in the game as 14, then it was 10, then it was 6, and that was really, really good by the Hawks.
They went on a 50. They went on a 15-0 run to end with 4 minutes left in the game, so they narrowed it down. But yeah,
Embiid couldn't make a shot for his life, but they were like, you could sense they were going back in the game. Like even though Trae Young around the 6 minute, 7 minute mark, he was useless. Like he didn't even touch the ball, or when he did, he passed because of his shoulder or whatnot. He really stepped up at the end. He absolutely crossed Ben Simmons, and then. But Gallinari, Collins is an awful player. John Collins, he's really bad on the offensive side. He does not pass. He just does not. Like, there was like multiple, even in the 3-point bank shot, he had Gallinari wide open for 3. He just does not pass. And I think the Sixers are winning the series if Collins keeps playing like that. They shut down Trae Young, and then their second option is John Collins. He does not pass. He just does not. Like, there's 7 seconds left in the shot clock, and he shoots like while there's a wide open person, and he's a 50% from 3-pointer. John Collins is one of the. He and Embiid just always want to take the last shot, It's disgusting
Yep.
how they play.
I mean,
It's just bad.
John.
And
Yeah.
that's why both of them will never win a championship.
Yep. John
Both of
Collins is
them.
probably not returning to Atlanta. He's a free agent. He's probably gonna get like 30 million this year, maybe.
Oh,
From
he
another
just does
team.
not pop.
I think that another team will pay him just because of the fact that the free agency class this year is terrible. Yeah. Speaking about the Hawks game,
Will also was pretty good that game.
I mean, put the whole blame on Embiid. I mean, he did have 37 points. He was bad down the stretch, but Ben Simmons missed 10 free throws. You can't shoot 4 from 14 on the from the free throw line and then take no blame for the game. Tobias Harris did not score in the second half. In fact, the only two Sixers who actually scored in the second half were Joel Embiid and Seth Curry. Literally no other Sixers scored in the second half. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but Simmons made the first two clutch free throws, and then he completely missed the second two clutch free throws. But Embiid, remember the one time he absolutely, dude, Capella, bit on his pump fake so hard, but then he only did pump fakes. That was his only move. It's like you got Capella once, but you don't do that the next 6 times. And all he did in the last 7 minutes was got it out of the 3, pump fake, drove, and then dunked from the free throw line. And that's why. And it doesn't work in clutch time because the defenses are not going to let you pump fake. Okay, and he was like, no, shoot the 3, I dare you. But we all knew he was not shooting the 3. His first pump fake was like that. It was great. It made Capella go flying. But after the 3rd, 4th pump fake in the span of 2 minutes, we all knew he wasn't shooting the ball. And the Hawks actually changed the rotation for that, and Embiid was just not clutch. Simmons is useless. I mean, you're a point guard, you need a shot. You just need a shot. Especially at the end of game situations. That's the thing. That's what I said about the Sixers. I thought they were going to be the best team in the East, before the season started. Them and the Celtics. I thought they were going to be the best teams in the East. Well, Celtics are not, obviously. But the thing about the Sixers is I said they're not going to go out of the East, even though they're one of the best teams, because they don't have a guy who can make the shots. Every single, for the Bucks, it's Middleton, right? You're down by 3, you're down by 2, Middleton's shooting it. For the Nets, it's obviously KD, or it's Kyrie, or it's Harden. For the Suns, it's probably Booker, maybe what's his name? Maybe Chris Paul.
Yeah.
For the Clippers, it's going to be PG. For the Jazz, that's obvious. It's going to be Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, the Sixers, you don't know who's going to take the last shot. It could be Embiid. If you're down by 3, are you giving it to Seth Curry? He may not have a good game, but he may not be having a good game. Then are you going to give Korkmaz the last shot?
Yep.
No, you're probably going to give Tobias Harris, but he's struggling.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. Who's going to take the last 3-pointer? I don't know. Who's going to make the clutch shots? I don't know.
In regards to that, Damian Lillard will probably be available this offseason. So.
Oh yeah, people were saying that Simmons are going to go to the Trailblazers.
Yeah, so I would trade Simmons. They were so close to trading for James Harden this offseason. Right now, James Harden is exactly what they need. I mean, James Harden stepped up this year, and he was a big playmaker, especially during the regular season. I mean, he averages 12 assists a game, so he has this playmaking ability that stepped up huge this year. I mean, that's exactly what the 76ers need. They need a guy who can make shots and that can playmake and get everyone involved. Damian Lillard is a good playmaker, but he's a better shot creator. I mean, the Sixers don't have that go-to guy.
Damian Lillard is the worst playmaker in the NBA.
Maybe,
He doesn't even move off ball.
But
he's not better than Luka. He's not better than Curry. Oh, and people were mad at me because for my All-Star vote, I didn't vote Dame. It's because he doesn't do anything off the ball. The Sixers do not need a person like Dame.
I mean,
who's gonna? Because if they have Dame, then there's so many shots to give. Because Tobias Harris wants his shots. Embiid takes 30 shots a game.
I mean, Tobias
Lillard takes 30 shots a game. You want 2 people taking 60 shots a game?
I mean, Tobias. No, Tobias Harris is a good playmaker. I mean, he's a known playmaker.
Like CP3. This is where CP3.
Yeah, CP3 would be perfect here. He's a free agent, so they could potentially do a sign and trade where they maybe ship off someone like Tobias Harris maybe to Phoenix. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of CP3.
I
Like,
mean,
I'm not a big fan. Even when he was on the Thunder, I felt like he was a very
yeah,
underrated player.
CP3 right now needs a culture
But
change.
CP3 would be fit like exactly what the Sixers need. He can take the last shot, he can play make, and he can slow the game down.
I
But
mean,
then still, who's gonna take the last 3-point shot? Because
yeah,
CP3's
so
3-point is not that great.
right now, in my opinion, that the 76ers don't have the winning culture. I mean, they seem all over the place. They clearly don't seem ready down the stretch. They don't have a winning mentality. I mean, they don't really have a veteran presence in their starting lineup except for maybe Danny Green. But I mean, it's Danny Green.
Oh yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
trash after that.
yeah. So right now, what the 76ers need is a shot creator that can play make. But if they do end up trading for Damian Lillard, they will lack their defense.
They've really messed up. They've really messed up.
An argument could be that they're sacrificing the defensive potential for the guard aspect because
Oh, that's true too.
Damian Lillard
And
is a
Simmons
terrible
could not guard
defender.
Trae Young. Give props to Trae
Yeah,
Young.
so
Simmons could not guard him.
yeah, Tobias Harris. I mean, they have Matisse Thybulle, who's a very good defender.
Oh yeah, lockdown. He's
Yep.
locked down. But he slipped on the last play. He
Yeah.
slipped.
All right. So next up, there have been a flurry of NBA moves that that have taken place over the last couple of days. So let's talk about coaching fires. So with Brad Stevens being promoted after Danny Ainge leaving, there's an opening for the Celtics. Just recently, the Washington Wizards parted ways with their coach, and so did the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, it's got to.
And before that, the Magic did. There's a couple other teams, but those are the main openings, and so the Trailblazers. But let's talk about some potential coaching candidates that could sign with the teams available. So for the Pelicans specifically, I think they need a defensive-minded coach. I mean, Stan Van Gundy is a defensive-minded coach, but he's old school, and he doesn't really fit the mentality of new day of a defense. I mean, he had his worst defensive performance while being a coach, and his system completely failed, starting Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball together. I mean, Lonzo Ball has developed into a good shooter, but the fit there just doesn't make sense. So right now, I just think they need a defensive-minded coach to help Zion and Brandon Ingram. I mean, Zion's currently unhappy with the Pelicans, but right now, me personally, I think they need a defensive coach to help with that. Maybe Chauncey Billups is an option. I mean, it's a player-friendly coach, so maybe Chauncey Billups. I mean, he was a good defender when he was a player, and he's
But I think he's fine on ESPN. But
I mean, he's an assistant coach too. I mean, Chauncey Billups is an assistant coach in the Clippers, so he's a potential head coaching candidate. So yeah.
Yeah, but I don't feel like the Pelicans are going to win a championship in the next 10 years. Just the organization as a whole, the way they play, it's just so ugly to watch. I hate watching them because it's either Zion taking out the ball or Brandon Ingram taking the ball. They both play ISO. It's not like, or it's Lonzo just jacking up a three. They're like one of the worst teams to watch, I feel, in the NBA, and their defense is awful. So I feel like they're one of the worst teams in the NBA to watch.
Yep. All right. In regard to the Portland Trailblazers, they fired their coach Terry Stotts after 10 long years. Damian Lillard never had another coach to play for. So, in my opinion, I think they should get a defensive-minded coach once again. Their defense was lackluster. They could not guard anybody. In my opinion, Enes Kanter is probably out the door. If Damian Lillard does request a trade, I mean, they should do everything in their power to. CJ McCollum's definitely gone. In my opinion, they should do everything in their power to acquire star power. Maybe Karl Anthony Towns is available. Maybe some other stars are on the block, but they should definitely do whatever they can to get another star wing. Maybe like a Bradley Beal. If Marcus Smart is available, the Trailblazers should definitely try to trade for Marcus Smart, but they should do anything in their power to acquire any defensive talent. So,
no, I think the Trailblazers are never going to win a championship because they left Gary Trent Jr. for Norman Powell, which I believe is one of the worst
I
trades
mean,
this
the
season.
the reason
Um,
why the reason why they did that is they're
because
gonna
of
have
defense, right?
no.
Defense.
The
Well,
reason
it
why
clearly didn't work out.
is Gary Trent's a free agent this year, so they'd have to pay Gary Trent like 20 million. So they didn't
Yeah,
want to do
well,
that.
Gary Trent is a really good player, regardless whether he's a free agent. Gary Trent is a good player. Norman Powell is an okay, average player.
I mean, they're
Gary Trent
really.
has more potential than Norman Powell.
I mean, they're really the same player. I just Norman Powell's a little taller. I mean, they average similar
And Gary Trent is
statistics.
a 10 times better shooter.
I
Like,
mean,
it's not even close. Gary Trent is literally like
but Gary Trent's also very inconsistent, so that adds a factor. And Norman Powell was consistently making shots for the Raptors prior to the trade. So
he's consistently useless.
yeah, that's
They
true.
lost to who they lose to? The Nuggets. They lost to the Nuggets,
Nuggets
dude.
without two starters, so that Will Barton
Without
or
two
Jamal
starters.
Murray.
Dude, they lost to Facundo Campazzo.
Yeah,
That just
Facundo
okay.
Campazzo. Yeah,
Also, D'Antoni should go to the Trailblazers. Like, if they had Gary Trent, that would be awesome.
I
With
mean,
D'Antoni, it would just be
offense was-
so many threes. It would be so fun to watch. Like Gary Trent and Melo standing in the corner and
yeah,
being like,
it's not about
three-pointers.
it's not about what's
Like his
fun to
system
watch.
sucks. I hate only taking three-pointers.
I
I
mean,
hate the Jazz shooting 63
Did you
pointers a game.
did you
Like,
see
watching
the?
Trailblazers do that?
I mean, I don't think D'Antoni's a good fit with the Trailblazers because did you see Houston's defense when he was the coach of Houston? He's never really been a good
Oh.
defensive coach except for when he had Kobe, but Kobe's a good defender. So, what they need, I don't think D'Antoni fits. I mean, they had a good offense last year. They just need a defensive coach. I mean, they need some defensive mentality. I mean, Damian Lillard is good enough to carry an offense. So,
No,
That's
he's
not-
not. No, he's not. He's useless on off. He's useless without the ball. He's one of the without the ball. He's the worst player. He just stands there and says, "Hey, give me the ball so I can shoot from 50 feet," which makes it okay. He's great at that, but just he doesn't create space. Like there's no penetration to kick out or anything. There's nothing. He just stands. He just stands there. There's
Yeah.
a reason why you don't see that's why Danny Green or players like Danny Green that just stand in the corner and run laps all game. That if Danny Green went to the Trailblazers or any type of 3-and-D guy, he would be completely useless because Norman Powell. That's why I think Gary Trent left. It's because
they traded him.
he was just standing there. Well, he
Yep.
didn't leave, but he probably wanted to leave. I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
he's a young talent,
Yeah.
and
Um,
the Blazers don't have a good team offense. It's just like one
I
guy
mean,
takes it.
they
Same with
have
Melo.
one.
It's like,
Yeah, the perfect example of a 3-and-D guy is Robert Covington. He literally
Yeah.
so he's on the Trailblazers, but he wasn't really a big impact. So they need some more playmakers. They just need more star power in general. All right, let's move on to the Celtics. So after Brad Stevens was promoted to president of basketball operations, they have a need at head coach. I mean, right now Jim Boylan is linked. Jim Boylan is linked to the to Boston. So Jim Boylan is a terrible head coach. He was with the Bulls last season, and immediately after getting fired, their offense was really bad. And Zach LaVine, they basically were one of the worst teams in the league. Jim Boylan is just a terrible coach. He's so really funny. Never mind. But yeah, Jim Boylan's a terrible coach, and he's being linked to Boston. In my personal opinion, I would like to see. I'd like to see maybe Terry Stotts in Boston. I think that's a good fit. Terry Stotts is a player-friendly coach, and they just need more chemistry. Because by the looks of it, right now Boston doesn't seem to have a lot of chemistry. I mean, especially with Kemba. I mean, Damian Lillard might also go to Boston. I mean,
it's how they play.
Yeah,
It's how they play too.
Yeah,
It's how they play too. It's a lot of ISO ball, which again, there's no real penetration inside.
I mean, yeah, Mike
which
D'Antoni
clearly doesn't work. Like you see, all the teams, all the some type of penetration. I think the best example of that is the Hawks. The way that Trae Young can dish and Capella just stands there and then dunk it. Also, the Clippers do a nice thing with that, with PG doing that. The Suns do that with Paul. That's why you see him get so many assists. A lot of teams, the Sixers do that with Simmons, but not anymore. a lot. Now the Sixers just do Embiid post up. The Giannis does that, of course, to Holiday and Middleton. But yeah, there's there are teams like the Celtics where they don't do any penetration whatsoever, and that's the reason why they don't make it. But let us move on.
I mean, one potential candidate I see fit for Boston is Vincent. He is a coach. He's an assistant coach from Milwaukee. He's been linked to several head coaching vacancies, but I think he's a good defensive coach, and the Celtics struggled defensively throughout the season. So I think Vincent, the Milwaukee Bucks, he's an assistant coach again. I think he's a good fit for Boston because sometimes they struggle to guard people, and for Boston especially, I think they need to acquire a center. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas is a free agent, and
Oh yeah.
they
Oh god, they get him, and if
they yeah
they
they
get
have
him and they get a solid point guard instead of Marcus Smart, who
they
can
still
actually
have yeah
penetrate, it's over.
they still have a $10 million trade exception from the Gordon Hayward trade. So
Oh yeah. If they get
they
Jonas Valanciunas, they're a top three team in the East.
so yeah, Jonas they can do a sign and trade where they get Jonas Valanciunas maybe for a 3-year
But I
deal
don't think the
worth.
Grizzlies will get Jonas
I mean, he's a
Valanciunas
free
though.
agent. He's a free agent, so I think
But
they can give.
he was really
I
like
know, maybe three
valuable.
years,
Like the
fifty
people
six.
in Memphis love him.
I know maybe 3 years, 56 million is fair for Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, he's below. He's like an average 3 point shooter for a center. So yeah,
No,
Jonas.
his 3 point is whack, dude. But his rebounding,
Yeah,
finishing, and
he's exactly what the
offensively and
Celtics need.
defensively is really good. He is what a center should be nowadays. Even if you don't have a 3 point shot, he makes a difference offensively and also defensively. But yeah, let's go
Uh,
on.
the Miles Turner may also be available, so he might also be
No,
linked to the
no,
Celtics.
no. I think Jonas is a much better fit.
Yeah, but okay. Let's talk about some soccer right now. So the
Yeah.
Euros have been
Okay.
the Euros started last Friday, and yeah, let's just Jay's gonna explain what's been
Oh
going
yeah.
on.
First of all, we'll do the NFL and soccer comparisons. So our first team is England, and they're like the Cowboys because they're like kind of overrated. They've never won a championship, I mean, in a long time. Uh, and they're always like they got a big, noisy, loud fan base. They have all the hype, but I actually have England winning this year because they got a lot of young
Yeah.
talent and like their fullbacks are as deep as the Cowboys receivers. So yeah. Now let's go on to France.
So my comparison for France is the Kansas City Chiefs. So France has a really stacked roster, and the Chiefs have a stacked roster. France won the title just recently, and so did the Chiefs. So that's why, and that's
Yeah.
why France. I
France
mean,
got Pogba,
yeah,
Mbappe,
Mbappe.
Griezmann, Conte, Lloris, Varane, Mbappe. I mean, they got so many great talents on that team. N'Golo Kante is probably the best player in the world one of the best players in the world right now. Mbappe, of course, if you guys watch the World Cup, he was a young star. Griezmann and Pogba are really bad when it comes to club play, but when they play for France, they're just a whole different. But let's go to Germany. Germany is like the Saints. So Germany is historically good and make great runs, but they also had a bad exit last World Cup, and the Saints are kind of like that where they make
Yeah.
good runs, but they really haven't won it. Like Germany did win it in 2014, and the Saints won it in 2011.
Yeah, but
2011, but
after 2011, they kept going 7-9, 7-9, and just recently, they've had good seasons. I mean, good regular seasons. They've won a bunch of couple one seeds, but like for example, last year they got demolished by Tampa, and then the year before they they lost to a controversial offensive pass interference call.
oh yeah, I remember that
It
game.
should have been offensive pass interference, but yeah, they lost that call. Year before was the pass interference where it should have been called pass interference, but it wasn't.
Well, no, that
Saints-
was an offensive pass interference.
no, no,
Kyle
no,
Wilson
no.
was
The
not
year before
offensive pass
the
interference.
year before that was defensive pass interference on the Rams,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah.
the Kyle Rudolph thing was not offensive pass interference. It was not.
Yeah, okay.
But
And then the year before, it was a Minneapolis Miracle. So they've just had tough break after tough
yeah,
break after tough break. And Germany struggled. They won the World Cup in 2014, but they haven't really been back to that same success since.
yeah. Then let's go to Belgium, which is like the Browns. A lot of people have the Browns winning the Super Bowl. I think that's complete bullshit. A lot of people have Belgium winning
Yeah, they're just
the
completely
Euros.
overrated.
Again, I think that's complete bullshit. But they're like a new team. They got superstars. KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku is one of the best strikers in all in the world right now. But they're
Yeah.
just, in my opinion, they're just not a team that can make it all the way.
So the Browns have they have Devion Clowney, they have Miles Garrett, they have John Johnson, they have Baker Mayfield, they have Nick Chubb, they have basically a bunch of talent, and the and although they're extremely overhyped and expected to win the Super Bowl, but they're just not going to be any good like Belgium this year. All
Yeah.
right, all right, let's
The
go to
Spain is like the 49ers because both of them kind of invented new strategies for the game. The Spain basically what they do is they have 90% of possession, and what the 49ers do is they invented West Coast offense. So, and both of them have been like historically good. Of course, the 49ers had Montana, Jerry Rice, and Spain had the greatest international team in 2008, 2010, 2012, where they won the 2 Euros and a World Cup. But I just don't see them winning, and nor do I see the 49ers winning. So yeah, our next team is Italy and the Steelers, and
yeah.
right
So
now they.
Italy
Oh
used to
yeah,
be good. Italy used to be good back in the day, but they're not anymore. Same with the Steelers. I mean, back in the 80s or like 70s when they had Terry Bradshaw, and yeah, so they've had limited success as of late. As of
yeah,
late, same with
and both
Italy.
of them. I would say both of them are very defensive-minded teams. Italy, of course, they started the back. They have had one of the greatest defenders of all time, and right now they got Chiellini and Bonucci. And then the Steelers, of course, their defense was really great last year, but yeah, I just don't see them winning just the way that they play. Then the Portugal's like the Seahawks. It's like Portugal has improved, especially like I think this is Portugal's strongest. Portugal's team this year is much stronger than their team in 2016 where they won, but a lot of teams have gotten much stronger. Portugal got Semedo, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Ronaldo, of course. Ronaldo's like Russell Wilson. I mean, they're
Yeah,
both superstars at what they do. But I just don't see, just if you watch Portugal versus Hungary, I just don't see them winning. I just don't see
yeah,
them winning. It's just the way that they play. You can't miss that many opportunities. Like I know they won 3-1, I mean 3-0, but all those goals came 5 minutes before the game stopped. So I just don't see them winning. I think England will win. It's just England is just like the Cowboys. No one wants them to win, but they have great young talent, and I see them becoming a dominant superpower in years to come,
yeah.
especially with their thing.
Going back to Portugal and the Seahawks, I mean, Portugal. I mean, the Seahawks were overvalued and just blew an opportunity in Super Bowl where they passed the ball and Russell Wilson threw an interception against Malcolm Butler. I mean, Portugal is just sometimes overhyped, but they just sometimes fall up short. Similar
Yeah.
to the Los Angeles
Well, I just
Chargers.
have something to say about that pass. I think they should have passed it. I think they
Yeah,
should have
maybe.
passed it, not ran it. Well, actually, I think they should have ran it on first down, but they had 9 people in the box, and
Yeah.
but actually, I see what they were trying to do. I felt like that was just a really good play call by um, Bill Belichick. The way he did the film study, that's how they knew they were going to do the pick play, the slant. So they ran like a 2 cover scheme. I mean, I watched like a whole video about that. It was both sides. I mean, that play would have worked 99 out of 100%, but it was just great for. I mean, what the Patriots did was they could not run the ball since they had 9 defensive linemen, and but they could not pass it because it was just really good. That's what made Bill Belichick that's why Bill Belichick can never be beaten as a
Yeah.
coach. Just just simply, if he had one play, that was his best play of his career.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check us out next week. We will be back with another episode. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're watching on iTunes or Spotify or any other podcasting platform, make sure you download the episode and subscribe to our podcast, just to make sure that
what every cringy YouTuber says, like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell button.
All right, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Super-Blitz and at Twitter at Super-Blitz, just to stay up with what we're doing. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week, next Friday at 1 p.m.
And if you're on YouTube, please comment about anything. That really helps the algorithm. Just comment about anything. Comment about
the algorithm.
Ping pong, chopsticks, fishes, dancing. Comment about anything. That'll help.
It really doesn't matter.
Okay? Thank you.